Hi. Hello, y'all. How y'all doing? You know who this is, right? Sena Kakpomo, your host and creator here at Healthcare Boulevard. Thank you for joining me. Thank you and welcome back. Why am I back on the mic? I wanted to give you some of the basic knowledge of what you should know about a PA if that's something you're considering. Um, Again, if you haven't listened to my previous interview and video, please check them out at Healthcare Boulevard on YouTube. That's where I'm at right now. I am looking to get onto the podcast platform so that you can listen to me on your favorite podcast platform. But as of now, I'm on YouTube, so please go ahead, show some love, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell button. Even as I get on the healthcare platform, I will still keep posting my stuff here, so this will always be a platform for you to listen to me. So today I want to talk about three main things. I want to talk about the history of PA, and again, when I say history, I mean really just a brief history so that you get an idea of what the birth of this profession is. I'm not going to dive too deep in it. History is not my forte, but I do understand the importance of it. And then we're going to talk about what is a PA, how do you define a PA, and lastly we'll talk about how to become a PA, and I'll chime in with some of examples here and there. Let's do it. I will post the links below for where I'm getting this information, and so please check it out and look in deeper and read about it more. But I'm just going to give you the bulk of what I think is important to know about this profession. Let's do it. So the history of a PA. This profession started in the mid 1960s with as a response to the I'm losing my words. I'm sorry. As a response to the shortage in primary healthcare providers. So essentially, doctors and educators and healthcare providers at the time noticed a shortage in in primary healthcare provider, as we still do today, right? And so this profession, the profession of a PA, was birthed as a result, as a response, and as a solution to that. So even to this day, majority of PAs are in primary care provider, because again, the profession was birthed for that. Now I'll get more into it. So this Dr. Eugene Stead, who was working at Duke University at the time, he made the steps of selecting a couple corpsmen from the Navy to essentially be his apprentices, right? So he trained them, and he used his knowledge of the fast track doctor training in the World War II. So World War II, there was a fast track training for doctors because doctors were needed. So he used that knowledge and that track essentially to train this corpsman from the Navy to be his assistant, and thus the name physician assistant. He actually used to be called physician's assistant. Now, don't make that mistake. We did evolve a little bit and took out the S, so it's just physician assistant without the S, the apostrophe S. Please be mindful of that. So the first PA program graduated in 1967 from, again, you guessed it, Duke University, because this is where Dr. Stead was working. And that's the bulk of what I will say about the history of PAs. And that's it. Now, let's look at what is a PA. Can we do that? And I'm getting this information. I'm literally going to read this to you from the AAPA website, because I want to read that to you, because you will get a chance, if you haven't already listened to my interview, to hear different PAs define their profession in their own word. Now, I want to get this from the organization, the AAPA, so we have different, essentially, wording of the same thing, right? Also over here on the APA website, it says PAs are medical professionals who diagnose illness, develop and manage treatment plans, prescribe medications, and often serve as a patient's principal healthcare provider. With thousands of hours in medical training, PAs are versatile and collaborative. PAs practice in every state and in every medical setting in every medical setting and specialty, improving healthcare access and quality. So that I'm gonna leave it there. It speaks for itself. No commentary is necessary. So the next thing and last thing I wanna address in the content of today's podcast, podcast is how to become a PA. Now I'm gonna read the steps to you from APA website again, and I will give you a little bit of just my experience and just because again I'm a PA, so I'll give you some commentaries as to what to do and what not to do and how to do that. So obtain a bachelor's degree and complete common prerequisites. So what this means is you can get your bachelor's degrees in anything. I have been asked a few times before by aspiring PAs from all walks of life, what bachelor's degree did I receive? What did I obtain my bachelor's degree in? Or they may be looking for recommendation in what to obtain their bachelor's degree in as pre-PAs, and the answer is anything. Now, if you are like me, or if you are just at the beginning of your college years and you want to select something that while obtaining that bachelor's degree will allow you to complete the prerequisites, then that's on you. But it's not required. You can obtain a bachelor's degree in anything from art to biology. And in fact, I had one of my classmates in my cohort when I was in school was she majored in art, and she's today a fine PA. So it's up to you what you want to do. And just to say something else about that adds to the flexibility of the profession, because if let's say you didn't know about PAs until you're already halfway through your college years and you already selected a major that you like, or you're perhaps even done with your bachelor's degree, you don't have to go back and get a particular bachelor's degree, because again, you can get a bachelor's degree in anything. In fact, I didn't know about PAs until I was halfway to my college years, into my bachelor's degree. So it really keeps the flexibility in the profession. Now, regardless of what you get your bachelor's degree in, you do have to make sure that you get the prerequisites for the program. So it's two things in this compound, as you say. It says bachelor's degree and complete common prerequisite courses. And the common part means they are a group of prerequisites that every school will ask you for, every program will ask you for, and you can imagine, it's a healthcare profession. Thank you. So biology is expected, chemistry is expected, anatomy and physiology is expected. So as you can imagine, those are bulk things that every PA program will ask you to obtain alongside your bachelor's degree. Now, there are other prerequisites. As somebody who's been through the process and looked at different prerequisites for PA program, there are some miscellaneous prerequisites out there for PA programs, and simply put, is based on the core values or core concentrations of the university. Because regardless, even if you go to a research university, for example, which PAs are not it's not a profession strongly rooted in research, as you just listen to me read the definition of a PA. But the program is in the school, so the school may ask you for something that's totally out of the norm for a PA program. Let me give you an example. My PA program required an art prerequisite, which again, there was not a problem, because I've hope everybody I want to say everybody takes arts class before they get their bachelor degree, but I don't know, so don't quote me on that. But that's the point, is it was out of the norm for a PA program. It's not something like you need to draw in order to treat your patients. But for the school, that's something they ask for. That's out of the norm. And later once we matriculated, the director is sort of touched on why they did that, and that was interesting to hear. For example, while I was looking at different schools to apply to, one of the schools I was looking at was a HBCU, historically black university, and I remember they had a requirement for African American studies, I believe. Again, it's not, you don't need to know the history of or to study African Americans in order to be a PA. It might be helpful because African Americans are also a major group of folks that you treat, but again, you don't need it for the medicine necessarily. And it's not the norm for PA program. But think about it. The program is in an HBCU university. Their bread and butter is serving and working with African American folks and students. So it makes sense. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. So get your bachelor's degree and make sure you look at the prerequisite for each school. Do not assume that just because you look at maybe 3 school prerequisites that, okay, I got this down, I know what they're all asking for. No, don't do that. Look at the prerequisites. I don't want you to be surprised later once you apply and one thing you missed was a random class that you have never thought about. Okay, the next thing, right, is you need to obtain patient care experience. So that means there's a list of things. Different schools may have different lists of things that they accept to count as patient care hours. This can range from working as an EMT. I personally did a CNA. I had a couple of folks did work as an MA in my cohort when we were graduating. Working in the hospital, working as an LVN if you had that, or even a nurse. If let's say you're obtaining your bachelor's degree in nursing and you want to go to PA, that counts as healthcare, as a patient care. So anything where the idea of this whole thing is so that you get some patient care, right? So you're not just going in just to go in. So you get an idea of what you're getting into. And that is the number of hours depends for each school. That's another thing. I had schools when I was applying, because I applied to like 9 schools my first time. I had schools that were asking for 1,000 hours. I have schools that were asking for 10,000 hours. I had schools that were asking for 100 hours. So it really depends. It's not like a set number where every school must ask for 50,000 hours. No, it's just another thing you have to pay attention for the school. Now the next thing is to apply. Yay! You made it to applying. So far we have our bachelor degree. We've made sure that all the schools we are applying to, we have the prerequisite of what they're asking for. Alongside our bachelor's degree, we made sure that we have the number of patient hours that each school is requiring. Now you're ready to apply. So you apply, we use CASPA, but the point is you apply. Once you apply, the schools that want to hear more from you or considering you ask you for an interview. So you come in, you talk to them. Some schools will have group interviews. Some schools will have individual interviews. I didn't know my program was doing group interviews until I got here, and they're like, yeah, we're doing group interviews. I'm like, well, then I guess that's what I'm doing. It's not like I can go home and be like, no, I don't want group interviewing. So sometimes it, sometimes they might change it, or you might not even know. So the point is just be ready to tell the program and the leaders who are in front of you why you want to be a PA, why you want to go through that process with them. So it's not just about why you want to be a PA, it's about why did you choose our university. Even if it's simply, the answer is simply because you're the only one who accepts me. Besides that, is there anything about the school that matches with you, that you're like, okay, their core values matches with mine, or what have you. So anyway, I'm going way too far into it. So get interview. Now once you get the interview, the schools that want you to be in the program will reach out to you and offer you an admission. Yeah, now you're in PA school. Yeah, this is what you post on Facebook and IG and be like, yeah, guys, I did it. And you get ready to study. Essentially, literally, the next step says study, as if you haven't been studying this whole time, right? But yeah, so you get into PA school, you study for depending on the PA program. Okay, that's another thing. Some programs are 24 months, again, 2 years. Some programs, like mine, 27 months, so 2.25. Some programs are 3 years. So the maximum year is 3 years. So the difference, again, regardless of what the program is, you will and should end up learning much the same information once you're done. The bulk of it usually is whether or not the program wants to focus on certain things that is not required for a PA program, or if there's summer breaks, usually that will be 3 year versus the 2 year or 27 month. So that's all dependent. Look at all of that information and factor that into your plans and your life plans, because people come into PA school from all walks of life. Some just literally graduated from undergrad and boom, here they are, just moving through it. Some have had a whole career before and are now switching. So some are parents of 1, 2, 3 kids, spouses. So there's usually life besides PA school. So you will want to pick that and factor that in terms of, do I want summer break so I can spend time with my family? Am I okay with just going through it and zapping through it and being done in 2 years or a little over 2 years? So all up to you. The next thing and the last thing is pass your certification exam. It's called PINS, Physician Assistant National Certification Exam. Pass that, and then you are a PAC. I'm going to go over a little bit of what comes with PA. So once you're in PA school, you're PAS. S is for student, right? Makes sense. Once you graduate PA school, you are a PA. You're no longer a student. You're a PA. But you're not a PAC yet. You're a PAC once you pass your certification exam. Then you're a PAC. C for certified, right? So keep that in mind for when you're signing or signing your emails or what have you, so that you don't misrepresent yourself. That is all in how to become a PA. I'm just gonna do a quick summary for that. So we had 6 steps, right? So get your bachelor's degree and get the prerequisite courses, okay? Then obtain patient care experience, then apply, study, right? Apply, interview, study, then pass your PINS. That's it. That's how you become a PA. And I'm going to leave it there today. I do have a couple announcements. Number one is, as mentioned before, I'm going to expand my platform and put this on podcast platform. So if you heard this and you're like, oh man, I wish she's on other platform where I can just listen to it and not have to go to YouTube, I got you. Number two, I have an interview coming up with another PA, and I'm very excited. I love the interviews. I learn as much as you guys do, so I'm excited for that. That'll be coming to you next week or the week after. Lastly, I want to thank my subscribers on YouTube. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for everybody who's shared, who viewed this, everybody who has liked or commented. I appreciate you guys. And if you're new, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you joining me. Please share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button if you're getting this on YouTube, because that way when I post something, you will get it. You will get a notification. Other than that, that's it. I will leave you guys to be. Stay safe. Stay safe, and I'll see y'all next time for my next interview. The next time when I'm on the mic by myself, just giving you some info, we'll look at how much PAs get paid, different places PAs can work, and a couple other things. So that's, I wanted to make this a little shorter than my interview so that you're not getting too much information in. But that's it. Y'all have a beautiful week or weekend, depending on when you listen to this, and hope your family and friends are safe. All right, bye.